I'm Dr. Rick Green, Senior Medical Editor for General Surgery News, and we're here at the annual meeting of the Southeastern Surgical Congress in New Orleans, Louisiana. And it's my pleasure today to be talking with Mary Kate Bryant, who's a senior resident at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Thanks, Mary Kate, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So obviously you're thinking about some sort of fellowship, as 80% or 90% of your fellow residents do. What are you thinking about?
I am applying for minimally invasive surgery fellowship this year, so I will go back to the wards in June and apply later on this year.
So when you say minimally invasive fellowship, obviously that includes several things.
It does.
Laparoscopy, endoscopy, robotics. Do you think that residents today in your program are being trained so they could go out in the community and do these types of things, or do we really need a fellowship?
That's a great question. I think it's really hard to answer. The research on that is really all over the place when you survey outgoing residents versus what their attendings think of those same graduating residents. And so I think it really depends on the person and their ability to really invest in their career and their training. I think if you do that the right way, and I think there are plenty of programs that are still doing that the right way, that you can leave 5 years of general surgery training and be equipped to be a proficient and competent surgeon. I think the additional training honestly comes with pressure from different sources to be specialized in something, and I think that that's more so the case in an academic career where really you have this niche in your department and people expect you to be expertly trained in that, and so I think that there's a lot of pressure from different angles on really pushing people towards fellowship. I think that I would feel competent after I graduate going out and doing minimally invasive surgery. I think that the fellowship provides extra training for maybe some procedures that I haven't gotten as much experience to do.
There have been a few papers out recently about financial issues, the debt that we find ourselves, or young people find themselves after medical school, college, residency, and that sometimes dictates what we're going to do in life. Have you had issues with your debt, and how has this affected your decisions in your career?
I think it definitely is a burden that weighs pretty heavily on residents with determining exactly how and when they're going to pay back all of this financial debt. I think I'm very lucky in that regard. I received a scholarship to medical school and didn't have to take out loans. And I think that those programs that are in place, I hope will continue to grow. And they really depended on the support of alumni from the medical school that I went to be able to give that gift to medical students. But in talking with my co-residents who have hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, it really is a huge part in why many of them elected to not do research time and to go straight through residency and get a job as soon as possible so that they can start repaying this, because they really do put a lot of other things on hold in their own lives to be able to pursue medicine and do this long training process, and they really want to not have that overarching burden of financial debt.
Well, you're certainly a wonderful representative of what a surgical resident should be, and a credit to the University of North Carolina. We've been talking with Dr. Mary Kate Bryant from UNC Chapel Hill, and Mary Kate, it's just a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you so much, Dr.